Bracket Week presented by Kubota. A little Mountain West after dark tonight, quarterfinal number 4, as number 6 Wyoming battles the 3rd seed, the Lobos of New Mexico. Here's a look at the bracket in the Mountain West tournament. You just saw Utah State, the 7 seed, join Nevada and San Diego State in the semifinals. Tomorrow, one more spot is available. As we welcome you back to the Thomas and Mack Center with Steve Lapis, I'm Andrew Catalan. We'll hear from Evan Washburn coming up. This should be a fun one, Coach. The last time New Mexico and Wyoming got together, the final score was 119 to 114 in favor of New Mexico, and no overtime was needed.
Both these teams want to play as fast as they can. They both will try to turn you over and get up and down. They have multiple three-point shooters. They are amongst the best three-point shooting teams in the country. This should be a fun one. And
New Mexico's style defensively is they try to speed you up. They create havoc on the defensive end.
And you have to attack them, and that's what they do. They make you play the way they want you to play. They turn people over, 17 turnovers a game amongst the leaders in the country. So look for them to double team everywhere, pressure, and want to get up and down.
And for Wyoming, you got to keep a close eye on Justin James.
Boy, this kid's had a great year, 3rd leading scorer in the conference. The thing I like about him more than anything else, he has taken almost 200 free throws. At his size, he gets to the basket, gets to the foul line. He is the leader of this Wyoming offense.
It's been quite a day in Vegas. One more game to go tonight. Wyoming and New Mexico set to tangle in the Mountain West quarterfinals. These two teams met February 20th at Wyoming, turned into a dunk fest, a high-scoring affair. 119-114, the final score, as New Mexico, despite all these dunks by the Cowboys, was able to prevail, and the Lobos swept the season series from the Cowboys. There's Alan Edwards, the Wyoming head coach in his 2nd season. 43-26 on the Wyoming bench. As we take a look at the Kubota starting lineups for both teams, Hayden Dalton averaging just under 18 points a game for the Cowboys this year. And for New Mexico, well, they changed their lineup all around all the time. Sam Logwood is starting tonight. He's averaging 13 points per game. Paul Weir in his 1st season, what a job he has done after coming over from New Mexico State. In his 1st season now as the New Mexico head coach. And for more on the Lobos, we say hello again to Evan Washburn.
Well, Andrew, changing the starting lineup is putting it lightly. This is the 18th different starting lineup for the Lobos, and it's all part of the analytical approach that Paul Weir has brought here. It's deeply rooted in everything they do. They dictate the starting lineup based off of the players that had the most defensive deflections in the second half of the previous game. And that'll be the case again tonight for the starters in the second half of this game. The other area where we'll see it have a major effect in this contest is the number of players that he will utilize. It's like a hockey line change out there. 8 players average 20-plus minutes, guys.
So if Kerry Kittles didn't have enough deflections in the Villanova practice, would he still have started?
He still would have started, I'm sorry. Now, if you have a team full of guys that you feel are very similar, that's a good way to go. There's no doubt about it. And I think that's what this team is about. A lot of similar guys. No star, but a bunch of good guys.
In the preseason Mountain West Bowl, New Mexico was picked to finish 9th out of 11 teams. They have the number 3 seed here as they get set to tip off the quarterfinals against number 6 Wyoming.
They play extremely hard, and they press 38.5% of the time, Andrew. To put that in perspective, only one team in the nation presses more than them, Portland State, and they press 40%. So this team is coming after you from the beginning of the game to the end.
And kudos to both fan bases as this place is filled up. Wyoming and New Mexico traveling well with a spot in the semifinals up for grabs tonight.
You see the pressure on the ball that Anthony Jackson is putting on Cody Kelly already.
Here is Kelly in the corner for 3, and it won't go. When the ball goes out of bounds, it'll stay with Wyoming. Cowboys 20-12 this season under Allen Edwards. He's the first head coach in school history to win at least 20 in each of his first 2 seasons.
You know, it's interesting, too. They're starting Lewis Adams, number 24 in this game. He had 31 in that game last time against New Mexico.
11 of 15 from the floor in that game as Justin James comes up short.
Usually he's their super 6-man. A lot of zone, but a very aggressive, not, what do they say, not your mother's zone or your grandmother's zone. This is a very aggressive zone defense that gets a lot of steals.
Anthony Jackson's 3 won't go. Offensive rebound by Vladimir Pinchuk, but New Mexico could not convert. And there is an offensive foul on Lewis Adams.
This philosophy of Paul Weir's is rooted in making you speed up and be out of control, making you attack all the time that people aren't comfortable doing, and these kind of turnovers are the kind that they force, making you go a little bit faster than you want and getting a charge like in that situation.
Troy Simons draws the charge. The officials tonight, Bob Staffen, Larry Spalding, and Tommy Nunez Jr.
And this defense starts like a 1-1-3 defense.
And Jackson is able to race right past Cody Kelly. New Mexico forces just under 17 turnovers per game, tied for 5th most in the NCAA, and there on cue is another.
I mean, Herndon should not be out there dribbling the ball, not think. When you play against New Mexico, you have to have in your mind somebody's always coming.
Logwood free throw line extended, guarded by Adams. Logwood muscles his way too strong, and it goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Lobos. New Mexico comes in riding a 5-game win streak, their longest win streak of the season. And during that 5-game win streak, they've averaged 98 points per game.
Andrew, I had them in the beginning of the year. They've improved so much in the course of the year. It's unbelievable.
Joe Firstinger's jumper is good. And they went 5-8 in the non-conference play, Steve, and then 12-6 in the Mountain West. James for 3. Wyoming is 0 for 3 to start. Firstinger saves it from going out of bounds. Firstinger jumper. James first team all Mountain West, and he is fouled on the drive. Paul Weir wanted a tie-up, but instead it's a whistle. And it's going to go on Anthony Jackson.
Well, this is what Justin James does best. He's only a 30% three-point shooter. I don't know if there was much there. Yeah, it's a foul.
So here's Justin James, who yesterday in the first round win against San Jose State did not miss a shot. He was 9 for 9, including 3 of 3 from deep and 3 of 3 from the free throw line. It all ended up to 24 points in Wyoming's 74-61 victory over the Spartans. James, a junior from Port St. Lucie, Florida. Mountain West games this year averaging just under 21 points per game, which is second best behind only Chandler Hutchison. And if you're just joining us, Boise State, the number 2 seed, knocked out a short time ago by number 7 Utah State.
Already 4 subs in for New Mexico.
Jackson to Kuiper in the corner. 5 on the shot clock. Firstinger spins. Kick out. Jackson 3. Yes!
No panic. The end of the shot clock. Firstinger, what presence of mind to kick that ball out with 2 seconds to go.
James can't answer, and there is Anthony Mathis with the rebound. Great energy out of the gate by New Mexico.
You know, I always talk, Andrew, about Mathis can shoot.
Hits the 3 and he was knocked to the ground. No call. Timeout, Wyoming. What a start by the Lobos, and the fans here in Vegas love it.
Sections 103, 116, and 118. When you want to see a show, bravo! And now, from the University of New Mexico, the Sound Pack and the Spirit Program, and Louie.
These guys will get back in it.
Great start for the Lobos. They lead it 10-1 over Wyoming as we take a look at Steve's keys to the game.
Well, you got to limit turnovers if you're Wyoming, because this team forces 17 a game. Defend the 3. They make over 11 threes, New Mexico, a game. Don't put the folks on the line. They're one of the leading free throw attempt and make teams in the country, Wyoming is, and contain Justin James. He's the guy who makes them go.
And for New Mexico, they already have 3 assists on 4 made field goals.
Well, you take a look at here. Joe Firstinger at the end of the shot clock drives in lane, and look what happens. Cody Kelly is supposed to be watching this guy out here. It was Anthony Jackson, who is one of their best three-point shooters, 40% from 3.
Let's see how Wyoming attacks here out of the timeout. The lob and the throwdown by Alan Herndon. Well, that works.
You got to attack the pressure.
Mathis for three. Firstinger can't clean it up, but New Mexico gets it back. Mathis feeds Firstinger, and this time he puts it in.
You know, they play so fast that you don't get into good defensive position, and they attack you every second, and it's so hard to keep your defense together.
Adams over to James, trying to set up the Wyoming offense. Wyoming is 1 for 5 to start this game. Nice con to finish, Herndon again.
When you play against the pressure team, to relieve pressure, you must back cut. If they're going to deny those passes, you got to cut hard to the basket.
Nearly a steal by James, deflected. It'll stay with New Mexico.
This is how you attack pressure. You attack it like this, you got big man at the end with the lob, and then here comes that back cut. You're going to see Herndon gets denied by Firstinger. He turns him around, and boom, goes to the basket, and a good pass.
Herndon had 15 points in yesterday's first-round win over San Jose State. Chris McNeil is checked in for the Lobos.
And Wyoming straight man now.
This is Logwood. Great up fake and the finish.
Logwood's playing on the perfect team for him. He's an inside player. He can't shoot threes. He's got all these three-point shooters around him, so he goes one-on-one from the foul line. Got nobody there, no help. That's how he plays.
Herndon again, the easy bucket.
And that's been the weakness of New Mexico all year. They get killed on the glass. They're a bad rebounding team because they're so small. Except for Firstinger, they've got no real size. And right now, they have a very small team in the game.
There's Malowacz.
He's their biggest guy. He's 6'6".
Ooh, Simons was able to elevate. Troy Simons in his first year at New Mexico after transferring from Polk State, which is in Florida. James baseline on Malowacz, and James wins that battle. Justin James lays it in.
You know, what's interesting about pressing teams, they either turn you over or you score. Their defensive field goal percentage, New Mexico's, is not that good. If they don't turn you over, you usually get a pretty good shot.
Mathis sits, and you're seeing why these two teams played a game that totaled 233 points a couple of weeks ago. The pace is incredible to start. Up and down we go. Dalton, great fake, and he missed it. Was looking for contact, no call.
Look at the room that Logwood has. Everybody's afraid to leave three-point shooters.
Great defense by James, though. Great play by Justin James as Logwood turns it over.
I mean, he tried to force his way to his right. He really needed to go the other way, but they took away that left shoulder. And here's the full court 1-2, 1-1, three-quarter court, full court press.
Evan described it so well. I mean, New Mexico has hockey line changes. Every whistle, there's people running on and off the floor.
Because to play this frantic a pace, it's hard. You know, it's funny because kids all say, oh, we want to run, we want to press. Let me tell you something. It's hard to play the game this way.
No player on New Mexico averages more than 27 minutes per game.
I'd say Anthony Jackson is the one guy, he's their most indispensable if they have one.
Hyper jumper, rolls around and out. Nice steal, Anthony Jackson.
And that's what they do. They make you constantly have to worry.
Third turnover by Wyoming. Redding poked it away, but New Mexico recovers. Now Simons off glass for 2.
They reversed the ball to the weak side. Because they play so fast, nobody was able to get into the help position from the strong side of the court that became the weak side of the court, and it gives up a layup.
Lobo fans making some noise here in Vegas, as they always do during Mountain West tournament time. And Dalton had it poked away. Another turnover by Wyoming.
Boy, Dalton looks really bad. This guy averages 18 points a game.
Simons in the corner. Verstinger, nice moves down low. He's got 6 quick points.
And there's another guy who's gotten better and better as the years go on.
And Allen Edwards has to use another timeout. Back and forth, what a pace here in Vegas. And right now the Lobos having their way. You're watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota.
Now fans, the University of New Mexico Sound Pack, the Spirit Program, and Louis.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Kubota. Visit KubotaUSA.com today. College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Kubota. Visit KubotaUSA.com today. By Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Reach for Reese's. And by AT&T.
Back in Vegas, the Lobos in control early, 22-9 on top of the Cowboys. As we take a look at our Jimmy John's Freaky Fast player of the game, and it's Antonio Jackson. You were discussing, Steve, about he's their most indispensable player.
If they have one, it's him. He's a senior, a transfer from Akron, and he has played tremendously this year. He's number 2 in assists, as you see, 7th in assist to turnover ratio. He makes over 2 threes a game, and he's a key to their defense because he is jet fast.
Wyoming has 4 turnovers, and New Mexico has 8 points.
He pressures the ball as good as you're going to find.
Off those turnovers, 22-9 is the score.
And they switch everything to keep the pressure on. As you can see, Kuiper ends up with James. Now Kuiper ends up on top.
Alexander Akogorski with 6 on the shot clock. Bounces it to Herndon on the block, and Herndon again. As we check in with Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, as you would imagine, Allen Edwards pretty frustrated with his team, saying that they're allowing this New Mexico pace to have an effect on everything they do offensively, saying we have to actually run an offense and be patient as best we can.
Mathis corner 3. And the rebound to Nye Redding.
That's what they do. They make you frantic, and that's basically what Allen Edwards is telling his team. We can't be frantic. We've got to get, when we get in the half court, we got to run some offense. We want to run, but in the half court, we got to run our offense.
James is a big part of their offense, averaging 19 points per game. He's got 5 here in the first half, and a foul is called on Okogorski. Special night for Okogorski. He is from Sweden, and his dad and grandma made the trip from Sweden to here in Las Vegas to watch Okogorski now in his senior season playing the Mountain West tournament. Some good air miles there.
Yeah, I'd say. You always got miles on your mind, I see.
Logwood gets it back. Fresh shot clock for New Mexico. And there's an offensive foul on Kuiper.
Pretty good defense by Okogorski that time.
Another look.
Good call.
Paul Weir, 38 years old, in his second year as head coach in college. Last year, New Mexico State, they went 28-6, went to the NCAA tournament. He replaced Marvin Menzies, who went to UNLV earlier today. The Rebels lost to top-seeded Nevada. Now Weir in his first season as New Mexico's head coach. He's done a tremendous job.
One of the stranger hires in that hiring right from your rival.
Yeah. But Steve, we spent some time in Albuquerque in January, and that was the time for New Mexico that was a tricky time. Sam Logwood and Troy Simons were not playing, partly because of injury for Logwood, partly for disciplinary reasons, both Logwood and Simons. And the way that Weir navigated that whole situation with both players missing time and what he has done in his first year, it really impressed us during our time in Albuquerque.
Absolutely. I mean, what he did in handling those two guys was incredible, and they came back in the fold, and they're doing everything exactly the way he wants, and they're playing their best basketball of the year for him. So he knows he's a guy who wants discipline. You're going to do it this way, or you're not going to be part of his program, and that's the kind of program he's going to have. And let me tell you something. He's established a style of play that's very difficult to coach. He's not just running up and down, do whatever he wants. He's getting these guys to play hard, hard, hard every second.
And we got a foul on the floor. It's going to go on Andrew Momeka, a sophomore out of Lake City, Florida. First foul on Momeka, who was high school teammates with Justin James, and now they're teammates again at Wyoming. They both played at Oldsmar Christian.
If I were coaching against this style, I would tell my guys, you need to attack the pressure whenever they press, but when we get in the half court, we got to run the clock. That's how you stop a team like this.
Malawach with the jam. Makwach Malawach, the freshman from Australia, has been a big part of what New Mexico has done this season, averaging just under 10 points per game.
He's another guy. I'd say they have like 5 guys that have gotten better and better as the years going on. Look how McNeil is denying James. But now you got to be able to play patient.
Okogorski 3. Oh, and the follow by Momeka. Cuts the deficit down to 8 for the Pokes as we approach 8 minutes to go in the first half. McNeil for 3. Tipped out by Simons. Great play by Simons. McNeil another 3. Logwood the offensive board, and he's fouled on the putback, and Allen Edwards did not like that one. Timeout with 7:51 to go first half.
Well, Justin James looking to take it to the basket. The missed 3 by Okogorski and Momeka out of nowhere. New Mexico leads by 8.
gift card to CPK down in the park over by T-Mobile if we win this. So pay attention. Hot Shuffle game brought to you by Bravo Tickets, the official entertainment and secondary ticket provider of the Mountain West. When you want to see a show, Bravo. Okay, so start in number 3. Got it, Ken? I got you. Okay, it's number 3. Shuffle around. You still got it? I got you. Are you sure? You guys have it? Ken says he's got it. 1, 2, 3. Ken, 2, 3. Says 3. Everybody else said 1. It was 1. Oh no! Well, you know what? We're just going to have to get a little music from the Western Thunder Pep Band and Wyoming Cheer. Cowboy Ken, a big round of applause, though.
You're watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota on CBS Sports Network. 7:51 to go first half. New Mexico leads Wyoming by 8. And CBS Sports Network brings you complete coverage of the Conference USA tournament starting tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern when we tip things off with, yes, Southern Miss against Marshall. Big upset at the Conference USA tournament as top-seeded Middle Tennessee lost in overtime to Southern Miss.
That's a tough loss. I mean, they had a good RPI coming in, 31. Southern Miss is going to take a hit. But you know what? Middle Tennessee 2-3 against Tier 1, 5-4 against Tier 1 and 2. I still think they were a 9 seed by Jerry Palm before this loss. I can't believe that drops them out of the field. May drop them to an 11, but I don't think it drops them out of the field.
Semifinals of CUSA tomorrow right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. That's CBS Sports Network. It's Lockwood at the line, where he's 80% on the year.
And let's say this, if it doesn't drop them out of the field, somebody just lost a bid. One of those bubble teams, whether it's Alabama or Oklahoma State or Louisville, they're dying right now.
Let's go over to Evan Washburn.
I've been there. It's just something to keep your eye on. Alan Herndon is shaken up after that previous play. Looked to be his left leg. Once we get something official, we'll let you know he's currently on the bench.
All right, Evan, thank you very much. It's Akagorski into the corner to a wide-open Redding, who bangs in the 3. Nye Redding, the junior out of Cleveland, who spent 2 years at Washington State before transferring to Wyoming.
They played a lot more man-to-man in this game than I think they want to, Wyoming. They like that matchup zone, but they were getting torched with it. See, Lockwood can't shoot that. That's what he does.
And he scores over Dalton, knocking Dalton to the ground. Redding brings it across for the Cowboys. Dalton thought about a deep 3. Now he'll take one a little closer, and he nails it. Dalton with his team-leading 84th three-pointer of the season. And the lead is 6.
They need him.
Firstinger, physical down low, and it's sent out of bounds by Momeka. Shot clock at 11. Substitutions for both teams. Wyoming team that has won 3 of its last 4 games. And when you look at their body of work this season, the 20 wins obviously stands out, but 8-8 in road or neutral games. So they've had a lot of success away from home this year.
I think Ellen Edwards has done a great job also. He's established a style at Wyoming of playing fast. And they turn people over too. They're second in the league in steals.
3 on the shot clock. Jackson has to put one up. And Adams comes away with it. Nice cut. Yep, Akagorski down low, off glass, and the foul. Oh, that momentum is starting to move to Wyoming's side.
Well, take a look here at the corner in the baseline. Good cut.
Fouls on Anthony Jackson, that's his second. Akagorski at the line. He'll try to finish off a three-point play. And it's a one-possession game, 28-25 in favor of the Lobos. And here come the Wyoming fans who made the journey from Laramie to Las Vegas.
Now Wyoming back to that zone, thinking they can get this pace a little bit more the way they want it. They don't want to play slow, they just don't want to play frantic.
Malawach, great defense by Wyoming. Out of bounds to New Mexico, but only 5 on the shot clock. .538 to go, first half. It'll be Chris McNeil to inbound. Simons, tough shot. Troy Simons with 2 more.
That was bad defense on that out of bounds by Cody Kelly.
Simons is 3 of 4 for 6 points. Dalton. Now it's Akagorski guarded by Kuiper. Nowhere to go. Dalton, that's an up and down.
Oh, I mean, they're everywhere. If Dalton thought he was open, he shot fake, thought he lost McNeil. Nope.
They're everywhere, like when you order appetizers at dinner. You order like for the whole table. Everyone gets an appetizer.
Who does that?
We call them a lapetizer.
Oh, no. Well, you're really hitting hard today.
Firstinger tied up. And a great defensive play by Momeka. The possession arrow will stay with the Lobos. Inside 5 minutes to play, first half. Seven to shoot. It's McNeil guarded by Dalton. McNeil step back jumper. Mexico has really cooled off from the floor since that opening 8 minutes. Kelly for 3. Yes! Cody Kelly drains a 3.
They've settled down and gotten used to the speed of this game, I believe.
And a foul called, I believe, on Akagorski. That's his 3rd. Make it his second foul on Alex Akagorski. And he'll come out anyway as Justin James is back on the floor. How about Wyoming after that cold start? They're now shooting 61% from the floor.
Only 5 turnovers for them.
There's another turnover. They were gunning for you on that pass.
Yeah, they were. But only 5 turnovers for Wyoming in this game, so they've done a pretty good job. They've been a little rushed, but they have not allowed New Mexico to score off turnovers in this game.
James blocked by Firstinger. Great play by the senior Firstinger. In transition, McNeil for 3. Big one for the Lobos.
That's what they do.
And the lead back up to 5.
Bring the ball down the middle of the floor and spot up at the 3-point line. Picture perfect, modern day fast break. Not when I was playing. When I was playing, you cut to the basket, look for a layup. There were no threes. Now you spot up at the 3-point line.
Kelly, that was a pass to Dalton, but a tough one. And Dalton not able to convert. Mathis is fouled. That'll be team foul number 6 on Wyoming. And it takes us to a timeout. Wyoming, though, is fighting back. They've got it within 5 here in Vegas as you're watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota.
When you order catering and pork sauce, an assortment of set trays, sliced meat and cheese trays, green veggie trays, wraps, salads, and dessert trays. Your guests not just forget about the game, but size that can distract even the biggest fans. Visit portasubs.com or use the Portasubs app for your game day solutions. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, New Mexico Spirit Program.
Coming up on AT&T at the half, we'll be going back to New York with Dana Jacobson, Wally Zerbiak, and John. This is March Rothstein. We'll get you caught up on all the latest scores, highlights, and conference tournament updates all coming up on AT&T at the half as we take a look at some news and notes from around college basketball today. And Michael Porter Jr. returned, although Missouri lost to Georgia. We mentioned the Middle Tennessee loss. That's a big one by the Blue Raiders. And how about UCLA now, with Holiday having 34 points?
He's been on fire lately. I think UCLA has gotten themselves into the field. Missouri, Michael Porter really struggled in that game. But I'll tell you what, they're going to be in the NCAA tournament, and this kid gets his legs back under him. It would have been good if they could have won and get him another game. But this kid, we forget, before the season was like the first pick in the draft. So if he gets it together, it's going to be a difference for Missouri.
Here in Vegas, we're approaching 3:20 to go first half. New Mexico leads by 5. It was nearly 7, but Logwood could not finish. 16 points off the bench for the Lobos, 9 for the Cowboys. Hunter Maldonado has checked in for the first time tonight for Wyoming. Mathis stole it, but he was out of bounds. It's going to go back to the Cowboys. And Mathis now grabbing his left side. He collided with Cody Kelly and immediately started wincing. But it appears he's going to stay in the game. Talk about players who have improved this season under Paul Weir. Mathis last year averaged 2 points per game. This year, 13 points per game.
Become one of the best three-point shooters in the country.
Number 1 in the Mountain West, number 4 in the country, 49% from deep as we go over to Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, we've seen Wyoming adjust to this frenetic pace that the Lobos try to employ, and Paul Weir recognized that in the last huddle, but he tried to make it clear to his players that if we keep this up, they will have to adjust back to the way we started this game because, again, he feels that with the numbers that they're going to throw into them, Wyoming is going to run out of gas. Because while they've gone deep in this first half, their quality of depth does not match New Mexico, in his opinion.
Well, there's no doubt that the other thing about this style is it wears on you. And playing 40 minutes against this can be very tough on you, not only physically, but mentally. And that's what he hopes to do, wear them out.
Evan Washburn not wearing out, though. His 4th game of the day here on CBS Sports Network. Still bringing it. With 2.5 to go in the first. Logwood off the mark. Firstinger the offensive board and the putback for 2.
He's another guy who's been a role player his whole career.
James to Herndon. Good shot to see him back in for Wyoming. Now James for three. And it won't go.
Pretty good defense by Kuiper, keeping him in front and then contesting that three really hard.
On the shot clock. Jackson at the free throw line. Back out to Firstinger. It's Mathis. Mathis in traffic. Bounces into Firstinger too late. Shot clock violation. Alan Edwards, 5 years as an assistant under Larry Shyatt. Larry's son, Jeremy, still a part of the coaching staff as an assistant for Wyoming.
And another assistant for Wyoming was my assistant at UMass, Jermaine Kimbrough.
And Jermaine's stepson is Nye Redding, who's on the team. So
a lot of connections. A lot of connections right there.
And the finish by Hunter Maldonado, the freshman from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Final minute of the first half. An entertaining half between these two teams. Wyoming, the number 6 seed, New Mexico, the 3 seed. Simons hits. Simons has 8 points here in the first. There's a 4-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock, so Wyoming can pretty much run this one down.
I think they're going to run it down. I'm not so sure with these guys. They don't look like it.
Now waiting. Kelly, it's another 3. 2-point game with 10 seconds to go. Jackson with 3. And he's fouled with 2 seconds left, and that's team foul number 7 on Wyoming, so it's a 1-and-1.
Well, you see Cody Kelly sitting in the corner there by himself. Anthony Jackson gave him a little bit too much help than he needed to.
Jackson makes the front end of the 1-and-1. Wyoming shooting 56%, New Mexico 48% here in the first half. Sizzling start for these two teams, who combined for 233 points the last time they got together. 2 seconds left. Dalton will inbound, see if Wyoming can get a shot. He tosses one in the air, and now it's McNeil at the buzzer. Oh, it almost went in! What a half! And nearly a great crowd tonight for this Mountain West After Dark final quarterfinal from Las Vegas, with the semifinals on tap for tomorrow on CBS Sports Network. Wyoming basketball, they trail by 4. New Mexico 13-3 when leading at halftime this year. Herndon's first shot of the second half, no good, but he gets the rebound. Out to Kelly for 3, and it's good. A 1-point game.
Well, that time they decided to turn around the offensive rebound.
Kelly's got 9 points. He averages 5 per game. The walk-on from Gillette, Wyoming. Simons looking to answer, and he does. Well, we're picking up right where we left off in the first half. End-to-end 3-pointers. Here we go.
They move the ball around the perimeter. Here's another one.
Not this time for Dalton. Gets his own rebound. Counted and 1.
That time Furstinger ran past Dalton and ended up out of the play, and that's why Dalton ends up getting that offensive rebound. You got to contest, but you got to stay under control and stay on the court.
Foul was on Mathis, his first. The winner will play Utah State, the number 7 seed, in the semifinals tomorrow. Earlier tonight, the Aggies knocked off number 2 Boise State as Furstinger drains a 3. That's just his 4th 3 of the year.
And he shot that like he's been shooting them all year.
He was 3 for 23 coming into the night, and Herndon on the other end with the flush.
That's how you got to attack pressure. Make them pay by taking it to the basket.
Mathis, his pass deflected. Furstinger recovers in the reverse lay-in. 13 points for Joe Furstinger. Dalton to the hoop. No good, and on the putback, Adams is fouled. What a pace here in the opening minutes of the second half.
This is just both teams on the constant attack.
Second foul on Mathis sends Adams to the line. Adams got the start tonight. He had a career-high 31 in Laramie against New Mexico. In that game, Wyoming had 3 players score at least 20 points. First time the Cowboys have done that since 2002. And a blocking foul is called on Cody Kelly.
I think the craziest stat for Wyoming this year is they're 6-0 in overtime games. I've never heard of such a thing.
That is amazing. Are you foreshadowing a little overtime here?
Potential. I know you were saving that for overtime.
Now you're doing the stats, so you can be the jinx. Anthony Jackson into the paint, nowhere to go. Good defense by James. 5 in the shot clock for Lockwood. Lockwood, 18-footer. And a rebound to Adams. Pushing it up ahead. Kelly sees an opening. Now baseline pulls it back out. Dalton slipped to the ground and a turnover. Up ahead, it's Kuiper with Adams back. Kuiper banks it in.
You know the amazing thing about this game, too, Andrew? 16 guys have scored in this game, 8 for each team.
Back-to-back turnovers by Wyoming. Kuiper for 3. And a whistle inside on New Mexico. It's on Anthony Jackson. And that's his 3rd. So Jackson exits with 17:09 to go. Oh, Herndon wasn't ready for it, but Kelly saved him. Herndon, what a night for Herndon.
Well, he started out the game great, then disappeared for a while, but now he's back again.
He's 6 of 8 for 12 points.
Now Wyoming trying that zone again. Matchup, back to man-to-man.
Simons over to Malowacz. His jumper is good. Pretty stroke from McQuatch Malowacz.
And now here comes the 1-2-1-1 full court.
Dalton, deep 3.
That's a little too deep.
Out of bounds to Mexico. Furstinger is going to come back in for Lockwood. Hayden Dalton named first team All-Mountain West by the media, second team by the coaches. Mathis, you're looking at him, third team All-Mountain West by the coaches and media in the postseason awards that were handed out earlier this week. Piper, nice pass, Firstinger down low, and he is fouled by Herndon. Great feed, it takes us to a timeout. 15:53 to go, and back and forth we go. Herndon with a dozen, but Maluach had the answer on the other end. You're watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota.
Whoever makes the most free throws, you get a Buca de Beppo gift card. Carson, you ready? Andrew, you ready? On your mark, get set, go! Andrew's got one. Andrew's still got one zip lead. It's tied now at 1. 18 seconds left to go. Carson's got 2. Now Carson's got 3. He's up by 2. Now he's got 4. Now he's got 5. He's running away with it. Andrew trying to fight back. Is there time? 2, 1, time. Man, that's a new record for this year. Carson with 7. Andrew with 2. Carson wins the Buca de Beppo gift card. Give it a big round of applause. Pretty good. 7 and 37. And of course, Buca de Beppo Italian Restaurant and Bar is the home of Team Dining as the official partner of the Mountain West Conference and Mountain West Basketball. Visit the official party between games from 2 to 4 tomorrow and 11 to 1 on Saturday. Unlimited bites and bottomless bar at the Excalibur Hotel and Casino upstairs at the gaming floor at Buca de Beppo.
New Mexico, a 5-point lead on Wyoming in the Mountain West quarterfinals. Time now to take a look at who's best in the West. Brought to you by Best Western, and it's hard to argue with Gonzaga. Right now, Jerry Palm has them as a number 5 seed. You see their impressive resume.
Well, I mean, they've run through that league and the West this year. They had that loss to San Diego State in December, but they've been really good as usual. Good backcourt, Josh Perkins, Silas Melson. Up front, Killian Tilly has really gotten a lot better. Obviously, they had Zach Collins last year and Karnowski, so they lost a lot in the front court, but still a formidable team with a lot of experience.
It is a little jarring to see them being ranked 6th in the country, yet Jerry Palm having them as the number 5 seed.
That is great. That's a great point. The rankings really have nothing to do with how they're going to be seeded in the NCAA tournament.
Where would you seed them?
I think that's right, 4 or 5. Absolutely. I mean, the strength of schedule is 126. They only have 5 Tier 1 wins. That's about where they should be.
With Steve Lapis, Evan Washburn, our entire CBS Sports Network crew, I'm Andrew Catalan. You're watching our 4th Mountain West quarterfinal of the day here on the network with a spot in the semifinals on the line. The winner of this one will see Utah State tomorrow night in the semis. The other semi is San Diego State against Nevada as Kelly misses the 3 and Firstinger picks up the loose ball. Firstinger thought about another 3. Now he drives in.
He didn't want that one.
To shoot.
That's a rarity for New Mexico.
McNeil for 3. Yes! Chris McNeil extends New Mexico's lead to 9.
You know, you can't go under any of those screens because all these guys can shoot. You got to fight over the top of them.
New Mexico 3 of 4 this half from beyond the arc. Akagorski for 3. Yes. That stops a 6-0 run by the Lobos. Mathis is fouled as he was passing to Furstinger.
Well, we're going to take a look here on number 3, Akagorski, how he plays this screen. And you can't get caught. He's going underneath. You got to fight over the top with these guys because they shoot threes too well. You see McNeil knocking one out there. You got to fight over the top of those screens as best you can.
Malowacz trying to work Akagorski. Malowacz over Akagorski, no good. Out of bounds to New Mexico. And James is slow to get up.
He's had trouble getting in the flow of this game too, Justin James.
Yeah, he's just 2 for 7, including 0 of 3 from deep. Similar to the first game we had in the night session when McEwen for Utah State had that slow start, but they needed him in the end to come back. Wyoming's going to need James if they're going to win this game, as a foul is called. Fouls on Momeka, that's his 3rd. It'll send McNeil to the line. The transfer from Indian Hills in his first year with the Lobos. Last year, an honorable mention JUCO All-American. Vladimir Pinchuk re-enters from Paul Weir's team.
Pinchuk, the only guy who's played so far that has not scored.
The lead is 8 with 14 minutes to go. Kelly will bring the ball up the floor for Wyoming. Akagorski 3. And it comes into the hands of Pinchuk. This half, New Mexico is shooting 6 of 9 from the floor. And McNeil nearly had another. That one halfway down and out of bounds to the Lobos.
The Lobos have been fighting hard on the glass the entire game. We talked about it at halftime. Not as good offensive rebounding in the second half, but still going there very actively.
Lockwood has to back down his man now out to Mathis with 10 on the shot clock. Mathis, tough shot, he's fouled. And Anthony Mathis, an excellent free throw shooter as well, 90% in Mountain West Conference play.
Yeah, that was a bad foul there. He looked like he was taking a shot out of control.
3rd on Akagorski. So here's Mathis, who last year averaged 2 points per game. Only played in 10 games, and after the season ended, he asked for his release. He was done with New Mexico. New coach coming in, wasn't playing much anyway, but he spent some time with Paul Weir, and he liked Weir's philosophy of what you're seeing here, this up and down pace, shooting a lot of threes. And Mathis, after initially asking for his release, decided to return, and And what a decision it's been for both sides, as Mathis has flourished, averaging 13 points per game to lead the team. And he's fit right into Paul Weir's philosophy of how he wanted to have his style play out this year.
Well, and the truth is, he's one of the most improved guys in the country, and he's playing a lot, and it's worked out well for him.
Nearly a steal by Simons. James with 5 on the shot clock. Back out Herndon for 3. It's good! Alan Herndon now with 15.
That was a good possession for Wyoming because they were patient. They got a decent shot. I mean, Herndon is a decent three-point shooter.
7th 3 of the night for the Cowboys. Mathis. And James will carry it up. Wyoming with the ball down 6. James can't get him going, and a foul is called on New Mexico.
Well, they were patient. Herndon pops out and knocks it out.
McNeil was called for a push-off. So that ball will stay with the Cowboys, and McNeil is going to come out of the game along with Logwood. James bounces it into Herndon. Counted and one. Here come the Cowboys.
I'll tell you, that was a great duck-in by Herndon. He really posted up big there, and that's why he was able to score on this. That's how you duck in. Great shot fake and one. They're coming back.
You are watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota at the Mountain West Quarters. New Mexico has a 4-point lead on Wyoming. As we take a look for the cut above the rest, brought to you by Steel, and it's Alan Herndon now with 17 points, keeping the Cowboys right in the thick of things.
And he's been really good taking it to the basket. He's hit a couple of threes also. He's been a tough cover for New Mexico tonight.
Herndon is 8 of 10 from the floor. As we go over to Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, two things stood out from the Paul Weir New Mexico huddle. Offensively, they may look to spread things out here a little bit more. Obviously, it's always about ball movement, but maybe creating some more driving lanes. And he feels like the biggest issue they're facing right now is the fact that things have changed. Wyoming's now beating them on the glass a lot, getting some second chance opportunities. That's got to change, according to Weir.
Well, I like the adjustment by Allen Edwards. They've only given up 1 point on second chance points in this second half.
Mecca just picked up his 4th foul. And Alan Edwards is going to keep him out there. 11:45 to play.
I guess, you know, he's a sub, doesn't play that much.
Malowacz, tough shot for two.
Well, they got good spacing that time. They moved the ball a little bit, got something in the lane.
Malowacz has hurt Wyoming this year. 17 points in the home game against the Cowboys and 20 in Laramie. New Mexico swept the season series, but you know the old adage, hard to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. New Mexico trying to prove that wrong.
Great defense by Simons.
They're going to count that? No. A foul on the floor before the shot by Furstinger as Alan Edwards was looking for a tie-up. Instead, it's a 1-and-1.
That's a travel. I think that's a travel.
Well, you said he's just a sub. He can stay out there. Now Momeka cannot stay out there. He is fouled out of the game.
Obviously, Alan Edwards was not concerned about Momeka fouling out.
3 points for Andrew Momeka, the sophomore from Lake City, Florida, who averages just over 1 point per game. So here's Joe Furstinger with a 1-and-1.
It seems like Wyoming just can't put anything together consistently enough to get on a good run and get tied in this game or to get ahead.
And New Mexico will be shooting free throws the rest of the game with just inside 11 minutes to go. And here come the Lobo fans again.
They just keep you so off balance.
Akagorski 3, good! Alexander Akagorski with a big bucket for the Cowboys. They're not gonna go away.
I think they should try that zone that they used a little bit because they need a change of pace here.
Jackson to Furstinger. Great look, and Furstinger finishes. Furstinger is moving closer to a career high. He now has 18. His career high is 22, set earlier this year against Colorado State. And James, they got to get him going.
And that was a good move. You saw, oh, what a great pass.
And Malowacz on the other end. Can't put your head down with these two. Up and down we go. Akagorski with 5 on the shot clock. Now James, cross court. Oh, threw it to nobody.
And there's an example of getting mentally worn out by this. There was nobody there. It was just a bad pass, but every pass you make is challenged by this team.
Turnover number 10 by Wyoming. Logwood. Fight for the rebound, and it's Dalton that comes away with it. Dalton had it poked away, but recovers. 66-59. James just 9 points tonight for Wyoming. Akagorski's been feeling it. Not that time, though. And Kuiper with a big rebound, and they call it tie-up. Possession arrow does favor New Mexico.
That was a quick tie-up. I think you got to let that go. It looked like somebody was going to pull it away.
Last 3 years at the Mountain West tournament, as Kuiper misses from 3, New Mexico has lost its first game. Trying to avoid that this year and move on to the semifinals against Utah State. James, he is now 3 for 10.
Yeah, they're going to have trouble winning this game without him because he's one guy that can make plays off the dribble.
And a foul by James as he ran into Mathis. That'll send Mathis to the line for a 1-and-1. We mentioned Mathis, the top free throw shooter on the team, and now James is shaken up. Did they bang knees?
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
That hurts.
And James needs assistance coming off the court. Justin James, their leading scorer, at better than 19 points per game. He's had a tough night, and now on the bench with the Cowboys training staff taking a look at his right knee. 1-and-1 for Anthony Mathis. And New Mexico now 11 of 13 at the free throw line tonight.
Well, he's hurting.
Eight points for Mathis. The lead is 9 for New Mexico. Where do they turn for offense without James out there?
Well, he's the one guy that can go off the dribble. Try to go to Herndon inside if you can. Dalton's been terrible. It's a good pass.
Okagorski couldn't get a handle on it though, and another turnover by Wyoming.
You know, even though James hasn't been good, he is the one guy who can do something with the ball. Adams is probably the next best bet.
James is trying to walk it off behind the Wyoming bench. And it's not just James that's had an off night, Steve. You take a look at Dalton, 5 points on 2 of 7 shooting. Mathis launches. Wow.
And the worst part about Dalton is he has 4 to turnover. They've hardly turned it over, even though the numbers are getting higher. Now they have 11. He has 4 of them.
Foul is called on Lockwood, and that takes us to a timeout. 7:42 to go. Lobos lead by 9.
Let's play the Mountain America Credit Union high-low game. You see on the screen, you can do it just by going to the MW.games. This is Roy who's waving at everybody. Say hi, Roy. Go Lobos! Let's play high-low right now. By the way, when you go to MW.games, select the Mountain America Credit Union high-low game. Now let's play. That first card is a 5. Higher or lower? Or go higher. Well, you would go higher, wouldn't you? And you're right, 38. What do you do now? Lower. Lower. 32. Higher or lower? Lower. Lower. 26. Higher or lower? Lower. Says lower again. Right. 14. 1 away from winning. Higher or lower? What should he do? Higher. 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 Give him a $25 gift card to CPK at the park on Las Vegas Boulevard, down by T-Mobile Arena. That is for you. Have a great night. Thank you so much to Mountain America Credit Union, the official credit union of the Mountain West. Mountain America Credit Union. All right, let's go karaoke camp. DJ Simba, what do you have for us?
68-59, the third-seeded New Mexico Lobos have the lead on Wyoming as they try to move on to the semifinals late tomorrow night on CBS Sports Network against Utah State, who earlier beat number 2 Boise State by 3. All right, let's revisit your keys to the game, Steve.
Well, Wyoming had to not turn the ball over. They only have 11, which is not awful, but they've gotten 12 points off those 11 turnovers. Defend the 3, New Mexico 8 for 18. That's a pretty good percentage. New Mexico, don't put the pokes on the line. They haven't. 7 for only 11 free throw attempts for Wyoming. They're one of the leaders in the country. Contain Mr. James. Justin James only 9 points. So New Mexico has done the job on both of these counts, and that's a big reason why they have this 9-point lead.
Speaking of James, let's get an update from Evan.
Well, guys, we're seeing some improvement. He banged knees with Anthony Mathis, that right knee. He's able to put weight on it. He's getting some explosion off of it, but he's compromised at this point, still on the bench.
All right, trying to loosen it up over there. We'll see if he can get back in. They need him on this comeback trail. Dalton, 3. Herndon, the offensive rebound.
They got to get Dalton going.
Well, there you go. Off the glass for 2 for Hayden Dalton. The lead is 7 with 7 minutes to go. Malawach spins, and Dalton had it and saves it to Adams. Adams over 2 defenders. Not a great shot right there for Lewis Adams.
No. Great pass.
Look at the vision. Mathis missed. Logwood does not.
But look how they're running the floor. I mean, they missed a layup, and Logwood was full sprinting down to get that and lay it back in the basket on the offensive rebound. That's just flat-out hustle. That's it.
Kelly's able to get to the hoop for 2. Kelly in double figures now for just the 4th time this season. He's got 11. Simons drains a 3.
You've got to gather yourself very quickly in this game. Here's a trap. Don't stop dribbling there. That's the worst place to stop. You got to get back in transition. You got to do everything for 40 minutes.
James at the scorer's table for Wyoming, set to check in next whistle. Dalton fakes the 3. Now he'll take the 3 and hit it. Second 3 of the night for Dalton.
Great presence of mind, too, because he stepped his foot back so that he could shoot a 3 because he knew he was on the line. You better get to this kid.
And a foul. Whoa, and a little extra shove after that foul. Adams and Mathis.
Hayden Dalton, he had his toe there and then he stepped back. Very good presence of mind there. Why take a shot when you have to go back an inch and take the same shot?
Now the officials are going to the monitor to see if Adams should be called for a flagrant 1.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Our crew tonight, Bob Stafford, Larry Spalding, and Tommy Nunez Jr. See flagrant 1, unnecessary contact or pushing.
I don't know, if they're gonna call it on the push, that would be a dead ball technical, because the ball was now dead. They blew the whistle, and now it happened. So that's not gonna be a flagrant. It could be a dead ball technical. The difference being, anybody can shoot it.
Go over to Evan.
Well, guys, just quickly here. In the first half, the officials came to both huddles at one point and said, stop the talking. So there's been trash talking for a lot of this game. It's already been addressed with both teams by this officiating crew.
All right, good note, Evan, as they continue to sort this out at the monitor. We'll take another look.
See, that's not a flagrant. The flagrant would be that, but that's not a flagrant. It's a dead ball technical if it's called.
Would you call it?
I don't think so. They got tangled up. their arms were tangled. If their arms weren't tangled and he pushed them, yes. But they were tangled up, I'd say no. I don't think that's a dead ball technique.
Nothing. They're not calling anything. So no technical assess to Lewis Adams.
I think that's the right call.
But it's still Mathis at the line for a 1-and-1. Mathis 3 of 4 at the line tonight. He's been held to 8 points for this New Mexico team that's looking for its 6th consecutive victory. James is back in with 5:28 to play.
They've got 6 guys, Andrew, with 8 or more points.
Rare miss by Mathis, who shot 90% in conference play this year from the line. James is still hobbling after he handed off to Adams, who scores in the foul.
They've been able to attack New Mexico in the middle of the floor. That's just a good move.
First foul on Troy Simons, and now Adams has a chance to finish off a 3-point play. Wyoming hanging tough. Down 5 with 5:14 to go. Make it 4.
They've got to get a stop. Going to the zone. I like the move.
And a foul, and now that's going to be 2 free throws for New Mexico for the rest of the game, as Kelly with the foul in the perimeter.
I don't know about that one.
3rd foul on Cody Kelly. And now he's going to go over and have a chat with Allen Edwards as Jackson makes the first free throw. One out of 2 for Antono Jackson. A 5-point game. You can see James is not at full speed here for Wyoming.
No, but they're better off having him out here. At least he can move the ball.
Herndon 3. Dalton, yes! 1 possession game.
Well, they like this zone. It stopped them on the last possession.
Jackson drives his pass off the hands of Firstinger, and a turnover. Dalton is starting to come alive. He's got 12. Adams nearly lost it. James has it. And his shot won't go. Logwood the rebound. Can New Mexico put away Wyoming? Firstinger guarded by Herndon. Firstinger. And a foul is called on New Mexico. It's on Sam Logwood. That was away from the ball on Logwood. And now it's going to be a 1-and-1 for Wyoming.
Well, let's take a look at the left block. Right here underneath, you see Logwood and Hayden Dalton.
Well, Evan reported The teams were warned. Physical play, certainly, as these teams fight for a spot in the semifinals. 1-1 for Dalton. Unbelievable. He is second in the Mountain West at 85% from the line, and he misses. He's 0 of 2 from the line tonight. Inside 4 minutes to go. Kuiper with 8 on the shot clock. In deep, and doesn't get the bounce. Dalton the rebound.
That was very good help that time by Herndon.
James. Blocked by Furstinger. 8th in school history in blocks, and a clutch one right there. Kuiper cuts, and the reverse lay-in off the feed from Furstinger.
You saw that coming a mile away. Furstinger had the ball, and he was basically telling Kuiper, cut to the basket, and he got it to him.
Dalton. Herndon throws it down. 19 for Herndon. Jackson races up ahead to Malowacz. Paul Weir imploring his team to move. He does not want to milk the clock. He wants to attack. That's what Furstinger does, and one!
Furstinger been getting it inside and going one-on-one off the dribble all night. New Mexico up 5.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Go, get College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Go, get rewarded now at bestwestern.com.
Lobos lead it by 5. Coming up next, we turn things over to our studio as CBS Sports Network gives you the inside scoop of everything happening on and off the hardwood. It's Inside College Basketball. Bracket Week presented by Kubota on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. 2:39 to play in what has been a great game with these two teams racing up and down the floor. Look at our game reset with the possession arrow favoring Wyoming, and James, as you see, still hobbling. They need him to get going here down the stretch.
Yeah, this is a hard situation to be in if you're Wyoming, because these guys are coming at you, so you have to constantly attack. So it's like, try and go off the dribble. If they're going to pressure you that much, try and take it to the basket. The problem is their best guy at doing that is James, and he's not right.
Furstinger has 21 points tonight, 1 off of his career high. 6-point lead.
Looks like a pick and roll with Herndon.
Here's Kelly, guarded by Jackson.
Good defense.
5 on the shot clock. James for 3. No. Adams tipped it out of bounds to New Mexico.
What a great box out by Simons. That was a great defensive possession. No steal, but solid closeout, cover each other up defense.
Amazing. Yesterday in the first round, James did not miss a shot. He was 9 for 9. Tonight, 3 of 13 for Justin James. And a steal by Justin James.
Just gave it to him.
Adams to Dalton, in rhythm 3, no good. And Simons is there for the rebound. 1:40 to go. Winner to the semifinals tomorrow night against Utah State.
And New Mexico looking to milk a little clock, up 6. Good move.
Lockwood with 5 to shoot. Jackson drives, and it rolls around and out. Herndon the rebound, 1:15 to go.
You got to take this to the basket.
That's what James does, and James missed another.
Oh, wow. Got a foul now.
And that's what Herndon recognizes, and these Lobo fans on their feet with 1:03 to play.
I mean, Justin James is not going to get a better. He did the right thing. He's attacking. He's got him backpedaling. And he's got to make that one.
Third foul on Herndon sends Jackson to the line, where he's 3 out of 4 tonight for 8 points. New Mexico, an excellent free throw shooting team. Number 1 in the Mountain West, 17th in the country at 77% on the season. Herndon's 3 is off the mark, and a foul on Wyoming will send those Lobos right back to the line.
They travel, those New Mexico fans.
They sure do. Adams picked up his 4th.
They're starting to see something building in New Mexico. I think during the season, they were this way and that way at the pit when I was there. I think that they saw what happened at the end of the year, and they see something's being built.
They won 5 straight to close out the regular season. During that streak, averaging 98 points per game, and they hit over 100 twice in the last 5 games. They're in the 80s here tonight. 81 after that Simons miss. And it's a team that was picked in the preseason to finish 9th out of 11 teams. Paul Weir in his first year joined the program late. Expectations were low. Elijah Brown transferred.
And I know Eric Musselman was coach of the year.
What is that?
Well, I don't know what that is. That was totally, even Allen Edwards. Look at Allen Edwards. He's like, what? That was really bad. That's like, gave up, foul.
Look at where,
I mean, this is, are you kidding me? Contested? I mean, why?
it could be the end for these Wyoming seniors. Dalton is one of them, Herndon another, and Okagorski and Adams also seniors for Wyoming.
This guy first stinger today.
He just tied his career high with 22 points. This will give him a new career high with 23. Eight straight points for New Mexico to put this one away as Adams is fouled.
That's the one thing you don't want to do is foul. And you see James limping.
Adams makes the front end of the 1-1.
You got to foul right away.
Burstinger in the corner. Knocked out by Adams. No, last touch by Jackson. It'll go to Wyoming with 38 seconds to play. And now they're going to go to the monitor to confirm. Well, looking ahead, Steve, if indeed New Mexico moves on, they'll see the number 7 seed Utah State in the semifinals tomorrow as you take another look at this play that's being reviewed. This year, Utah State and New Mexico met twice, with each team winning at home. January 31st, Utah State won in Logan 89-80, and then at the pit on Valentine's Day, the Lobos won 78-63. Another look at this. Looks like Jackson's leg the last to touch it. It is Wyoming basketball with 38 seconds to go. They trail by 9.
You know, one thing about Utah State that you need against New Mexico is 2 good guards. They have 2 good guards.
Merrill put on a show earlier tonight on CBS Sports Network.
I don't know if they have a matchup for first team.
James drives, misses. Burstinger the rebound. And there's the foul by Kelly. Joe Burstinger, a new career high, 23 points to go along with 9 rebounds.
8 out of 13, 9 rebounds. How about 3 assists for the big man, too? I mean, he did everything. We've seen this guy evolve from a role player to having really a tremendous season.
Rancho Santa Margarita, California native. He went to Santa Margarita Catholic, same high school as Klay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors. And that should do it. First Mountain West tournament win for New Mexico since they won the tournament in 2014. As Jackson getting these fans all fired up. The New Mexico Lobos, picked 9th in the preseason, are 2 wins away from the NCAA tournament.
And let me tell you something, they are a real threat to win this whole thing.